The sun had barely risen over the jagged mountains of Area 37, a remote human colony on the edge of known space. The light fell softly over the settlement, but it could not chase away the fear that hung over the colony like a dark cloud. Smoke still rose from broken buildings, and the faint hum of distant alien ships reminded everyone of the attack that had changed their lives. Leora stood at the edge of the village, her hands gripping the fence that separated the small garden from the wild terrain beyond. Her eyes were fixed on the horizon, searching desperately, though she did not know what she was looking for. Every day she hoped for a miracle, and every day that hope seemed to drift further away. "Kai," she whispered, her voice barely carrying in the cold morning air. The name felt fragile on her lips, a lifeline she clung to. Her little boy, just 6 years old, had vanished during the raid. One moment he had been running to her with wide eyes and a smile, and the next, the alien ships had descended, their shadows covering the colony like a storm. The aliens had come without warning, fast and precise. They moved like living machines, attacking buildings, capturing humans, and taking what they wanted. The colony had tried to defend itself, but their weapons were no match for the advanced alien technology. Families had been torn apart in minutes, and the survivors had no idea who had lived and who had been taken. Leora's heart ached with every memory. She remembered the sound of the alarm, the shrieks, and the chaos. In the last moment she saw Kai. He had been holding a small toy ship, a gift from his father before he had died years ago. The toy had fallen from his hands when the aliens grabbed him, leaving her with nothing but a broken heart. Other colonists were recovering slowly from the shock. Some wandered the streets, stunned and silent, unable to speak of the horrors they had witnessed. Others worked tirelessly to rebuild what they could, repairing shelters and clearing rubble. But nothing could fix the emptiness left behind. No tool, no medicine, no effort could bring back those who had been taken. "Mom." A small voice called from behind Leora. She turned, hoping it might be Kai, but it was only Tara, a neighbor's daughter. The little girl's eyes were wide with fear, her small hands gripping her mother's arm. "Have you seen him?" Tara whispered. "Have you seen anyone?" Leora shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "No, Tara. No one knows. Everyone is lost." Truth was unbearable. She wanted to scream, to cry, to collapse in the dirt and never rise again. But she forced herself to stay upright, to breathe, to keep searching. She had to. For Kai. Days passed. Leora moved from building to building, asking every survivor if they had seen her son. Some were kind but helpless, shaking their heads with sorrow. Others had nothing left to give, their minds numbed by fear. Yet in her heart, Leora refused to give up. She knew deep down that if there was any chance at all, she had to find it. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in red and gold, rumors began to circulate through the colony. A human soldier had been spotted near the edges of the settlement. Not just any soldier, but one who had survived countless battles. Known for bringing back colonists, thought lost forever. Leora's heart skipped. Could it be true? Could someone like that really exist? Someone who could face the aliens and return with the missing? She held on to the hope like a lifeline, a tiny spark that refused to die. That night, she walked to the council hall, where a group of colony leaders had gathered to discuss the rebuilding efforts. The hall was crowded, voices low and anxious, everyone talking about survival and fear. Leora pushed through the crowd, her mind focused on one thing. "I need help," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "My son. He was taken. I have to find him." The leaders looked at her with pity and concern. "Leora, we have no way to reach him. The aliens control the area beyond the cliffs. No one has returned from there." "I don't care," Leora said, her eyes blazing. "Someone has to try. I can't just wait here. I have to do something. He's my son." A hush fell over the room. Her courage was startling in its simplicity, a human determination that refused to bend to fear. In that moment, she realized that even if she could not save her son alone, she might find someone who could. The next morning, Leora ventured to the outskirts of the colony. The terrain there was jagged and dangerous, filled with crumbled buildings and debris left by the alien assault. She walked carefully, her eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of life. Every shadow, every movement made her heart race. Hours passed. Exhausted, she sank to the ground, staring at the distant mountains. Her mind wandered to memories of Kaihei's laughter. The way he loved stories about space explorers, the way he held her hand tightly when he was afraid. The thought of losing him forever was almost too much to bear. As the suns rose again, casting a soft light over the settlement, a figure appeared on the horizon. Tall, confident, and armored, he moved with precision and calm. It was unlike anything Leora had seen among the colonists. Her breath caught. Could it be? The figure approached, and as he came closer, she saw the emblem on his chest, a symbol she had only heard stories about. He was a human soldier, one of the elite, known for feats that seemed impossible. Her hope surged. "Are you? Can you help?" she asked, her voice shaking. The soldier stopped, his gaze calm but firm. "I hear you're looking for someone," he said. His voice was steady, carrying the quiet confidence of someone who had faced dangers no ordinary person could imagine. "I might be able to help, but it won't be easy." "I don't care how hard it is," Leora said. "I just want my son back." The soldier nodded. "Then, we start at dawn. Gather whatever supplies you can. Tomorrow, we leave for the area where the aliens took the colonists. We'll see if your son is still there." That night, Leora hardly slept. She could barely believe that help had arrived, that there was a chance, no matter how small, that Kai could be found. Her heart was a mixture of hope and fear, knowing the dangers they would face. But for the first time since the raid, she felt a spark of possibility, fragile light in the darkness. She watched the stars from her small hut, thinking of her son. "Hold on, Kai," she whispered. "Someone is coming for you. We'll bring you home." Outside, the wind carried the sound of distant alien patrols, a reminder that danger was real. But within Leora's heart, courage began to grow. The human soldier would come, and together, they might achieve what seemed impossible. As the first light of dawn crept over the mountains, Leora stood ready. Her heart pounded, her hands were steady, and her mind focused. Today, the search for Kai would begin. Today, hope would face fear, and the human spirit would rise against impossible odds, and somewhere beyond the cliffs. The boy waited, unaware that the person who could save him was coming, a soldier with courage, skill, and determination, carrying the essence of humanity itself. The morning light spilled over the jagged cliffs surrounding the colony of Erythresivin. The air was cold, carrying the faint scent of dust and smoke from the previous day's repairs. Leora stood at the edge of the settlement, clutching her bag of supplies, her heart racing with nervous hope. Today, the human soldier she had heard about, Captain Rylan, would begin the search for her son. Kai, Rylan arrived just as the twin suns rose higher, casting long shadows over the colony. He moved with calm precision, scanning the terrain with keen eyes. His armor was scratched and worn, evidence of countless battles, yet his posture was firm, confident, almost unshakable. "Leora." His voice was steady, strong, and carried a quiet authority. "Yes," she replied, her voice trembling. I'm ready. Whatever it takes." Rylan nodded once. "Good. We'll need supplies, maps, and information. The area we're entering is heavily controlled by the aliens. We have to move carefully. One mistake, and we risk losing everything." Leora followed him as he walked through the colony, gathering essentials, food rations, a medkit, ropes, and a small portable scanner. She watched him work, noticing the way he assessed the surroundings, how his eyes moved constantly, calculating every possible danger. He was unlike anyone she had ever seen, calm even when the world around him was chaotic. As they prepared, other colonists began to gather, whispers spreading through the settlement. Some stared in awe, some in disbelief. "He really is a human soldier?" one man muttered. "They say he's brought back people thought gone forever." Milan did not acknowledge them. His focus was on the task ahead. Yet his presence alone inspired a sense of courage among the people. They began to believe, even just a little, that humans could overcome the impossible. By mid-morning, they were ready. Rylan led Leora toward the cliffs, moving carefully through the rough terrain. The path was steep and treacherous, with jagged rocks that could twist an ankle in a single misstep. Leora felt her fear pressing against her chest, but she kept walking. Every step brought her closer to her son, and that thought gave her strength. "You're brave," Rylan said without looking back. "Not many would leave the safety of the colony to venture into alien territory." "I have no choice," Leora said. "Kai, he's my son. I can't give up on him." Rylan nodded, a hint of respect in his gaze. "Good. That's the first thing humans have that others don't. A refusal to give up, even when hope seems gone. Keep that with you. You'll need it." As they climbed higher, the landscape became more alien. Strange plants twisted around jagged rocks, glowing faintly in colors Leora had never seen. The sky seemed larger here, stretching endlessly above them. She marveled for a moment, even in her fear. Rylan noticed her gaze. "Don't let beauty distract you," he said. "Out here, you have to be ready for anything." Hours passed. They moved silently, Rylan leading the way with a small scanner in hand. The device emitted a soft blue glow, detecting energy signatures and movement. Leora watched, fascinated by his skill. He seemed to know instinctively where to look, how to read the terrain, and how to anticipate danger before it appeared. Suddenly the scanner beeped softly. Rylan crouched behind a rock, signaling Leora to do the same. Far below, in a shallow valley, they saw a group of alien patrols moving in precise formation. Their armor shimmered under the sunlight, their weapons advanced and unfamiliar. "They're guarding something," Rylan whispered. "Could be captives. Could be supplies." "We'll find out." Leora's heart raced. Could this be Kai? Could he be somewhere down there? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. Rylan studied the patrol, analyzing every step, every gap in their formation. "We'll move at dusk," he said. "They'll be less alert when the light fades." Patience is part of survival. Humans survive because we wait, we watch, and we act at the right moment. The day dragged on. Leora tried to rest, but her mind raced with memories of her son, his laughter, small hands gripping hers, his curiosity about the stars. She barely noticed the passing time when evening came. The light shifted to a deep orange, and shadows stretched across the valley. Rylan motioned for her to follow as they moved closer, using rocks and alien flora for cover. Every movement was calculated, silent, and precise. "Stay close," Rylan said. "Keep low. Trust me, and we'll get through this." They advanced carefully, slipping between rocks, crouching behind bushes, and avoiding patrols. Leora's heart pounded with every step. The air smelled of metal and alien dust. The hum of energy weapons in the distance reminded her that danger was everywhere. Finally, they reached the edge of the patrol zone. Rylan peered through his scanner. "There," he whispered, "a group of humans. Some are prisoners." Leora's eyes filled with tears. Could one of them be Kai? She forced herself to stay quiet, watching as Rylan assessed the situation. His mind worked quickly, calculating the safest way to reach the captives without being detected. "We'll need a distraction," he said. "I'll create a small diversion, enough to draw attention away. You move in with me when I give the signal?" "Oh." Leora swallowed hard. I can do it." "You can," Rylan said firmly. "Humans are not just strong, they're clever, adaptable. You'll see what I mean soon." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows, Rylan acted. He triggered a small device that emitted a bright flare and a sharp noise. The alien patrols immediately turned toward the source of the disturbance. "Now," Rylan whispered. Leora followed him, running quietly toward the captives. Her heart pounded with fear and determination. They slipped between rocks and plants, moving closer to the group of humans. When they reached the captives, Leora's breath caught. Some were adults, some children, but her eyes searched frantically. Then, in the corner of the group, she saw him. Kai, Kai, she cried, running toward him. The boy's eyes widened and he ran into her arms. Tears streamed down both their faces as they hugged tightly, afraid to let go. Ryland stood back, scanning the area. "Stay close," he said. "We're not safe yet." The aliens were beginning to notice the captive's movement. Ryland signaled to Leora, guiding her and Kai toward a narrow passage between rocks. They moved quickly but carefully, using the terrain to shield themselves. As they neared the edge of the patrol zone, Ryland led the way, demonstrating why humans could survive where others could not. He used quick thinking, clever distractions, and precise movements to avoid detection. Leora followed, amazed by his skill. Finally, they emerged from the alien-controlled area. The stars shone above them, bright and endless. Leora held Kai tightly, tears of relief flowing freely. She looked at Ryland, who gave a small nod, acknowledging the human spirit that had carried them through. "You did it," she said, voice trembling. "You saved him." Ryland shook his head. "We did it. Humans survive because we work together, because we don't give up, even when hope seems gone. Remember that." Leora looked at her son, feeling the weight of fear lifting, replaced by hope. The journey was not over. There were still dangers ahead, but for the first time in days, she felt the warmth of safety, the strength of the human spirit shining in her life. As they began the walk back to the colony, Leora held Kai close. She knew that no matter what the future held, humans had something extraordinary: courage, ingenuity, and the unbreakable will to protect those we love. And that courage, that ingenuity, would guide them through whatever challenges lay ahead. The suns of Erythrosavan had long set, leaving the alien landscape bathed in darkness. Shadows stretched across the jagged cliffs, and the air was thick with the strange scent of alien flora and lingering smoke. Leora held Kai close, his small hand gripping hers tightly. Behind them, Captain Ryland led the way, his movements deliberate, almost silent, like a shadow itself. They had just escaped the first patrols, but the danger was far from over. The aliens' territory was vast, and the deeper they ventured, the more complex the challenges became. Strange structures rose from the rocky ground towers and cages, glowing faintly with alien energy. Leora's heart pounded. Every step forward was a risk, but the thought of bringing Kai home pushed her onward. "This way," Ryland whispered, pointing toward a narrow pass between two massive cliffs. "There's a network of tunnels that lead deeper. It's the only way to reach the captives without being detected." Leora nodded, following closely, though her legs trembled from exhaustion. She had never imagined such a place, a world so alien and hostile. But even here, she felt the strange, comforting presence of Ryland. He moved like he belonged in the danger, confident, calm, and unwavering, a true human force in the darkness. As they entered the tunnels, the walls glowed faintly with alien markings. The air was damp and cool, carrying the echoes of distant footsteps. Leora held Kai tightly, whispering soft reassurances to him. "We're almost there, Kai. Stay brave." Ryland paused, crouching in the shadows. "Listen," he said quietly. "The sounds you hear, not all of them are what they seem. Aliens use auditory illusions to confuse intruders. Focus on the rhythm of your own steps and the space around you. Don't let them trick you." Leora nodded, trying to steady her breathing. She had never thought about how cunning these creatures could be. They were not just strong. They were intelligent, methodical, and relentless. But humans had something even they did not: adaptability as they moved deeper. Ryland used his small scanner to detect energy signatures. "There," he whispered, pointing to a faint glow ahead. "Captives. A group, including children." Leora's heart leaped. Could Kai's friends, or perhaps other children from the colony, be among them? She pushed forward, careful not to make a sound. Following Ryland's lead suddenly, a faint noise echoed through the tunnel, a clink of metal, the sound of an alien patrol nearby. Ryland pressed a hand to her shoulder. "Down," he whispered. They flattened themselves against the tunnel wall. Hearts pounding, the patrol passed, its glowing armor casting eerie light across the tunnel walls. Leora held her breath, trying not to move, while Kai hid his face against her chest. Ryland's calm presence steadied her fear. Humans were known for courage, but he carried it like armor. Reassuring others without words, when the patrol moved past, Rylan led them on, taking care to avoid other patrols. Finally, they reached a massive chamber, faintly lit by alien lights. Inside, humans were held in cages, some awake, some asleep, their faces showing fear, despair, and exhaustion. Leora's heart broke at the sight. "Kai," she whispered again, scanning the room. Then, relief flooded. There he was, sitting quietly in a small cage, eyes wide with hope when he saw her. "Mom," he cried softly, struggling to reach her. Leora hurried, and Rylan stepped forward to unlock the cage. His fingers moved with speed and precision, avoiding the alarm systems and locks designed to trap intruders. When the cage door opened, Kai ran into Leora's arms. Tears streamed down both their faces. "I was so scared," Leora whispered, holding him tightly. "I thought I lost you forever." "You didn't," Kai said, clinging to her. "You're here." Rylan scanned the chamber, noting the positions of the other aliens and the layout of the prison. "We need to move quickly," he said. "The moment we leave, they will notice." "Stay close to me," Leora nodded, taking Kai's hand. They moved together, a small group of survivors guided by one human soldier. Rylan led them through narrow passageways, using hidden routes and back tunnels he had memorized from reconnaissance. Every turn, every shadow was carefully calculated. One of the older captives whispered, "How? How can one person be so brave?" Rylan smiled faintly. "Humans survive because we adapt. We use our minds, our courage, and our hearts. That's what makes us different." As they moved deeper into alien territory, Leora began to understand. It wasn't just Rylan's skill, it was his refusal to give up, his determination to save lives, even against impossible odds. Humans did not just fight with weapons. They fought with creativity, intelligence, and hope. Suddenly, a sound echoed a sharp mechanical clatter from the far end of the tunnel. Rylan crouched low, gesturing for everyone to hide behind rocks. A patrol was approaching, faster and more alert than the previous ones. "We'll split up," Rylan whispered. "Small groups are harder to track. Follow my lead and stay quiet." Leora hugged Kai, trying to calm his trembling. They moved silently, following Rylan through hidden side passages. The patrol passed by, confused by the diversions Rylan had created with small sound devices and lights. It was a display of human ingenuity against an alien intelligence, an ability to think quickly, act creatively, and stay calm under pressure. After what felt like hours, they finally reached a small open area, far from the patrols. Here, the prisoners could rest, though cautiously, aware that danger was never far. Leora sat with Kai, letting him drink from a small water bottle she carried. "Mom," he whispered, "he's amazing, isn't he?" "The soldier," Leora said softly, "but it's not just him. It's all of us. Humans never give up. We survive because we care, because we fight for each other. That's what makes us strong." Rylan approached, scanning the area. "We've made good progress," he said, "but this is only the beginning. The aliens have more captives, more defenses. If we want to get them all home, we need a plan." Leora looked at him, determination growing in her eyes. "Then we make one together," Rylan nodded. "Humans work best as a team. I lead, but you all contribute. Every idea, every bit of courage matters." As they rested, Leora realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, problem solvers, and protectors. Even in the darkest corners of alien territory, with danger pressing from every side, they could find a way to win. Night passed slowly, but dawn brought new determination. Rylan led the group onward, moving silently through tunnels, avoiding patrols, and rescuing more captives along the way. Leora held Kai, whispering words of comfort and hope. Each rescued person was a small victory, proof that humanity's courage and ingenuity could triumph even in the face of overwhelming odds. By midday, they reached a vast chamber filled with more prisoners. Rylan assessed the room, noting exits, patrol positions, and possible escape routes. "This will be challenging," he said. "But humans can overcome challenges. We do it with creativity, bravery, and teamwork. Stay close, follow my lead, and no one gets left behind." Leora's heart swelled with hope. For the first time since the raid, she felt the possibility of victory not just for her son, but for all the humans trapped here. They were fighting not just for survival, but for the values that made them human: courage, compassion, and determination. With careful precision, they began freeing the prisoners, moving steadily toward the next stage of the mission. Every step forward was a testament to human resilience. Every life saved was proof that even in the darkest places, hope could shine. And as they advanced, Leora knew one truth above all: humans were unstoppable when they refused to give up, when they fought for each other, and when they dared to face the impossible. The cavern stretched before them, dark and quiet, but Leora knew better than to trust the stillness. Every step into alien territory was a risk. The walls glowed faintly with the aliens' strange energy, illuminating the cages where the prisoners were held. Captain Ryland moved ahead, scanning for traps and patrols with his portable device. Each step he took was deliberate, careful, yet fast enough to keep the momentum. Laura held Kai tightly, whispering words of reassurance. "We're almost there, Kai. Stay close." The boy's small hand squeezed hers, his eyes wide but trusting. He had begun to understand what his mother had always known: humans could face fear with courage and heart. Ryland crouched beside a large control panel at the end of the cavern. "This is their central hub," he whispered. "If we can disable it, their patrols will be delayed, giving us a chance to get everyone out." "How do we do it?" Leora asked, her voice tight with anticipation. "Follow me," Ryland said. "Humans solve problems by thinking, not just fighting. Watch carefully." He moved with precision, pressing buttons and manipulating wires with skill that seemed almost instinctive. Sparks flew, and a faint hum shifted as the alien systems faltered. Some lights went out. Others flickered. Leora realized that every action he took was carefully planned, showing the intelligence and ingenuity that humans were capable of. Even under pressure, suddenly alarms blared through the cavern. The aliens had detected the disruption. Shadows moved along the walls. Patrols had arrived sooner than expected. Ryland signaled for everyone to hide behind crates and machinery. "Stay low," he whispered. "We have one shot at this." Leora hugged Kai, her heart racing. The patrols moved methodically, their glowing eyes scanning the room. But humans, she realized, were unlike any opponent the aliens had faced. Ryland had taught her, even silently, that courage and cleverness could outmatch raw strength or advanced technology. "On my mark," Ryland said. He pressed another button, releasing a small burst of energy that sent a cloud of smoke across the cavern floor. The aliens paused, momentarily confused. "Now," he shouted. They ran. Leora and Kai moved as fast as they could, following Ryland through the maze of corridors. Other prisoners ran beside them, some children, some adults, guided by his calm but commanding presence. The path was dangerous. Rocks fell from above, and energy beams from alien weapons flashed dangerously close. Leora ducked, pulling Kai behind her, trusting Ryland to lead the way. Each narrow escape was a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. Where the aliens relied on brute force and strict systems, humans used creativity, teamwork, and quick thinking. At one point, the group reached a wide chamber with multiple exits, all heavily guarded. "We'll split up," Ryland whispered. "Smaller groups move faster. We'll meet at the extraction point." Leora glanced at him, fear and admiration mixing in her eyes. "But what if we get caught?" "You won't," he said firmly. "Humans survive because we use our minds, our courage, and our heart. Stay with me and we'll make it." With careful planning, they navigated through the chamber. Leora noticed how Ryland used even small distractions to their advantage. A loose pipe rattled. An energy panel sparked unexpectedly. The aliens' attention shifted and the humans slipped past unnoticed. Leora felt a surge of pride. This was what humans could do when they refused to give up: find solutions, adapt, and protect each other. Finally, They reached the outer corridor, closer to the surface. The fresh air from above hinted at freedom, but the danger was far from over. Alien sentries were stationed near the exit, their weapons scanning for movement. Rylan motioned for everyone to crouch behind a large rock formation. "Here's how we do it," he whispered. "We create a small diversion. Then we move fast. One at a time, stay low, and don't look back." Leora's heart pounded, but she nodded. She held Kai close, whispering encouragement. The little boy looked up at her with trust, reminding her of the stakes. The lives of the humans depended on their courage and unity. Rylan set a small device that emitted a loud noise and a bright flash. The sentries turned immediately, drawn toward the disturbance. "Go!" he shouted. The group sprinted toward the exit, hearts racing. Energy beams flashed behind them, but they did not falter. Each step was guided by human courage and determination. Even children ran, inspired by the example set by their protectors, as they reached the surface. The night air filled their lungs. Freedom was close, yet they knew the aliens would not give up easily. Rylan led the way to a hidden ravine where a small transport vehicle waited up. Gift of human ingenuity hidden carefully before the mission. "Quickly, everyone inside," he said. Leora lifted Kai into the vehicle, then helped others climb aboard. The engines roared softly, powered by a human-designed energy core, and the vehicle glided silently over the rugged terrain as they moved away from the alien territory. Leora finally allowed herself a moment to breathe. Kai leaned against her, exhausted but safe. She looked at Rylan, awe filling her eyes. You saved us all." Rylan shook his head. "We saved each other. That's what humans do. We survive because we fight for each other, and we never give up." The vehicle carried them through the alien landscape, avoiding patrols and natural hazards. Leora watched the stars overhead, realizing that humans were not only survivors, they were protectors, innovators, and problem solvers. Where others might see impossible odds, humans saw challenges to overcome. By dawn, the colony of Erythrosivan was visible on the horizon. Smoke still rose from damaged buildings, but life was returning. Other survivors had begun to rebuild, inspired by the courage of those returning. Leora's heart swelled as she thought about what they had achieved. Not only had her son been rescued, but the mission had saved dozens of lives. As they descended toward the colony, alarms went off briefly, a warning of alien pursuit. But Rylan's confidence never wavered. With precise maneuvers and clever diversions, he guided the vehicle safely through the final obstacles. When the vehicle stopped, Leora ran into the colony, holding Kai close. Other survivors rushed forward, embracing their families, tears of relief and joy flowing freely. Rylan watched quietly, letting the humans celebrate their courage and resilience. Finally, Leora turned to him. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "You didn't just save my son, you reminded all of us why humans never give up." Rylan smiled faintly. "It wasn't just me. Humans are capable of amazing things when we work together. Courage, intelligence, and heart. Those are the weapons that no alien can match." The colony would rebuild, stronger and more united than ever. Leora knew that the memory of this night, the courage, the ingenuity, and the determination of one human soldier would inspire generations. Humanity had proven itself not just as survivors, but as protectors, innovators, and champions of hope. And as the suns rose over Erythrosivan, Leora held Kai close, feeling the warmth of a new day, and the strength of the human spirit shining brightly, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy could throw at them next. The suns rose over Erythrosivan, casting a golden glow over the rugged colony. Smoke still lingered from the recent attacks, but there was a renewed energy in the air. People worked together, rebuilding homes, repairing machinery, and restoring hope. The raid that had once left the colony in despair now felt like a distant nightmare. Leora stood in the courtyard, holding Kai close. He had not stopped talking about the brave soldier who had saved him, the adventurous behind enemy lines, and the clever ways humans had overcome alien traps. Leora smiled softly, grateful for every moment they had together. Her son was alive, safe, and full of the wonder that made him so human. Captain Rylan walked beside her, surveying the colony with quiet satisfaction. He had completed the mission, but he remained vigilant. Out here, danger could return at any time, yet he trusted the humans around him. They had proven themselves capable, resourceful, and courageous. "You did it," Leora said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You saved so many, including my son." Rylan shook his head, a small smile on his face. "We did it. Humans are not defined by their weapons or technology. We are defined by courage, ingenuity, and our refusal to give up. Every life we save today is proof of that." Around them, the colony buzzed with activity. Survivors carried materials to repair buildings. Children laughed as they played in areas once devastated by alien attacks, and families reunited in tearful embraces. Leora's heart swelled at the sight. Humanity's spirit was unbreakable, shining even in the darkest of circumstances. As the day progressed, Rylan gathered the colonists. "Listen," he said, his voice calm but commanding. "Today, we have done what many thought impossible. We have rescued lives, outsmarted enemies, and protected what is most important. You have all shown courage and resourcefulness. Never forget this lesson. Humanity survives because we care for each other, because we work together, and because we refuse to quit." The crowd listened in awe. Adults and children alike felt the weight of his words. They had witnessed the human spirit at its finest, not just strength in battle, but wisdom, creativity, and heart. Leora hugged Kai tightly. "Your bravery, even in fear, helped us," she whispered. "Humans are stronger than anyone realizes." Kai nodded, eyes wide. "I want to be brave like him someday," he said, pointing to Rylan. Rylan knelt to the boy's level. "You already are. Courage isn't about fighting alone. It's about protecting others, thinking carefully, and never giving up. Keep that in your heart, and you can do anything." The colony leaders approached Rylan, offering thanks and recognition. They spoke of his heroism, the lives saved, and the hope he had restored. Yet Rylan deflected praise to the people themselves. "Humans are remarkable," he said. "I was only a guide. Your courage and determination carried this mission. Remember that strength." As the days passed, the colony rebuilt faster than anyone had expected. Buildings rose from rubble, children returned to their small schools, and gardens bloomed where smoke had once choked the soil. Leora marveled at the transformation. Life, it seemed, was stronger than fear. One afternoon, as Leora and Kai worked in their small garden, she noticed Rylan walking toward them. He carried a small device, a gift from the colony engineers. "This will help you monitor the land and crops," he said. "A little human ingenuity to keep the colony safe." "Thank you," Leora said. "You've given us more than just safety. You've given us hope, courage, and the belief that humans can overcome anything." Elan nodded. "Humans have always survived by thinking, by caring, and by standing together. This colony is proof. Keep teaching these values to Kai and the others. That's how humanity will continue to thrive." At night, Leora tucked Kai into bed. He held a small star-shaped trinket, a reminder of the adventure and the bravery he had witnessed. "Mom," he said, eyes heavy with sleep, "we're going to be okay, right?" "Yes," Leora whispered. "We're going to be more than okay. Humans will always find a way." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, reminding her of the vastness of the universe and the countless challenges humanity might face. Yet she no longer feared the unknown. The bravery she had seen in one human soldier, combined with the courage of her fellow colonists, showed her that humanity could overcome anything, no matter how dangerous. No matter how impossible it seemed. Weeks passed. The colony continued to thrive, stronger and more united than ever. Survivors shared stories of the rescue, teaching their children about bravery, ingenuity, and the power of hope. Leora watched as Kai played with other children, his laughter echoing across the courtyard. He had learned something invaluable. Humans were unstoppable when they refused to give up and when they fought for each other. Rylan prepared to leave the colony, his mission complete. Leora walked with him to the edge of the settlement. "Will you come back?" she asked softly. "I will," he said. Humans have a way of returning when needed. But more importantly, this colony is now ready to face anything. You all have the courage and skill to protect yourselves and each other. Never forget that. Kai ran ahead, waving at Rylan. "Thank you. Thank you for saving me." Rylan crouched, smiling. "You're welcome, Kai. Remember, courage isn't about being fearless. It's about acting even when you are afraid. Keep that in your heart." As Rylan walked toward the distant horizon, Leora felt a deep sense of peace. Her son was safe, the colony was strong, and humanity had proven once again that courage, ingenuity, and determination were forces that no enemy could overcome. The sons of Aerthros rose higher, illuminating the rebuilt colony and the faces of people who had once been terrified, but now were filled with hope. Children ran and played, families laughed, and the human spirit shone brighter than ever. Leora held Kai's hand, feeling the warmth of life and resilience around them. She knew the story of this rescue would spread not just across the colony, but across the galaxy. Humans were known as survivors, yes, but they were more than that. Protectors, innovators, and champions of hope. And in the hearts of every person who had lived through the terror and the triumph. The message was clear. Humans were unstoppable when they refused to give up. As the day ended, Leora looked at the stars again. She whispered softly, "Thank you, Rylan, and thank you, humanity, for never giving up." Kai leaned against her. "Mom, I want to be brave like him, like humans." "You already are," she said, smiling. "And one day, you'll remind others what humans are capable of: courage, ingenuity, and love. That's how we win, every time." And somewhere far away, Rylan looked back toward the colony, knowing his mission was complete. Humanity had triumphed not through power alone, but through heart, cleverness, and unwavering courage. The galaxy might be vast and full of dangers, but humans would always rise, protect each other, and inspire hope wherever they went. The stars shone brightly that night. Over a colony that had survived, a mother reunited with her child, and the enduring spirit of humanity itself.